A warm welcome to you. This is Nationwide. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Ruth Aguela. Remember, this news is broadcast live on our website is nta.ng/live and all other of our social media handles displayed on the screen right now. We begin with the judiciary. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has sentenced the notorious Taraba-based kidnap kingpin Hamisu Bala, popularly called Wadume, to 7 years imprisonment without fine. The presiding judge, Justice Binta Iyako, in her judgment said the court was satisfied that indeed Wadume was guilty of dealing in prohibited firearms and escaping from custody. Meanwhile, Police Inspector Aliyu Deji, another defendant in the matter, is to serve 3 years imprisonment for tampering with police records to conceal the crime, while 3 other defendants are also to serve various sentences for their roles in the crime. In view of the recent security and political development in West Africa, the Ecowas Parliament is holding a delocalized meeting to review implementation of relevant community texts on peace and security, with the theme Community Text Relating to Peace, Security, Democracy and Good Governance, Challenges in their Implementation and the Oversight Role of Ecowas Parliament. The meeting aims to promote the adoption, ownership and implementation of regional text by member states. 3 of the 14 standing committees of Parliament are leading conversations at a week-long meeting holding in Banjul, the capital city of the Gambia. And back home on legislative affairs, the House of Representatives Joint Committee on Reformatory Institutions, National Security and Intelligence has commenced investigation into the attack on the Kuje Custodial Center. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the lawmakers visited the facility to get first-hand information relating to the July 5th, 2022 attack.
The House of Representatives considers the prison break at the Kuje Custodial Center a breach on national security. Parliament by this visit wants to identify the causes, ascertain the extent of damage to the facility and measures taken to avoid a repeat.
More worrisome were the circumstances under which attack was carried out without any resistance by the security guards or arrest of any of the terrorists during the operation or after till date.
What really happened in the last attack of this center?
Whatever is expected of us to assist in this investigation, the Nigerian Correctional Service will definitely cooperate with the committee.
The assignment also involves engagements of the intelligence community for enhanced collaboration. Lami Ali, NTA News.
The National Orientation Agency in Nasarawa State is interfacing with stakeholders to expose criminal activities and secure their immediate environment by being vigilant. This is coming against the background of reported cases of recruitment of child soldiers by terrorist groups in some parts of the country. Bukisu Umar reports.
Despite federal government's commitment to containing the security challenges in the country, the ugly menace keeps reoccurring and taking dangerous dimension. The most recent is the recruitment of child soldiers to support the terror groups. The State Director of NOA, Priscilla Gondwalo, said the agency will not relent but will continue to enlighten residents to be more conscious now than ever before and step up efforts to stem the tide of insecurity in the state and the nation at large. She explained that the recruitment of child soldiers is taking alarming dimension in some parts of the country, stressing the need for unflinching support of all to fight the scourge.
It is not the responsibility of one person. It is not the responsibility of the governor alone. It is not the responsibility of the security agencies alone. As a matter of fact, we think that a lot of responsibility lies on parents and caregivers.
The Emir of Lafia represented and other guests at the meeting enjoined parents to pay more attention to their wards, insisting that child sojourning portends great danger to the nation. The MLA boss was at the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) Lafia on partnership to create aggressive awareness on the dangers of recruiting child soldiers into terrorism. In Lafia, Bilkisu Umar Gurku, NTA News.
Troops of Theatre Command Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai have rescued another Chibok girl alongside 3 other girls abducted within the theatre. Theatre Commander Operation Hadinkai, Major General Christopher Musa, presented the rescued persons at the command headquarters in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Memuna Garba reports.
Recently, troops on front line are making headway into various terrorist enclaves to clear them, as a result of which captives are being rescued from the bondage. To this end, Theatre Commander Operation Hadinkai, Major General Christopher Musa said on the 12th of this month, another Chibok girl, Aisha Grema, who is serial number 11 on the girls list, was rescued with her 4-year-old child by troops of Sector 1, 21 Special Armored Brigade Bama. The other 3 girls, he said, escaped from captivity and were found by troops on 9th August, namely one Red Dampam from Jos Plateau State and Clarice Hidel from Jamena, Chad, all abducted in 2020, while the third lady, Hawa, was traumatized and could not give any relevant information about herself.
We will continue to do the best we can. We know there's still so many of them out there, and then we will do everything possible to ensure we get all of them back, including those ones that we had no idea they've abducted. We want to ensure everybody that's been abducted is released and back to his home so that they can enjoy with the family.
Troops of Sector 1 have been able to recover at least 6 of the Chibok girls. This brings the number to 6 within the last 2 months.
National President Nigerian Army Officers Wives Association NAOA, Salamatu Faruk Yahaya, who was in Maiduguri to inaugurate developmental projects and empower women in the theatre, met with the rescued girls where she presented relief items and cash assistance to them. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
Socio-economic activities between Nigeria and one of our neighboring country, Republic of Benin, we hear has been temporarily put on hold. The bridge at Chikanda, one of the border communities in Barutan local government area of Kwara State, linking the 2 West African countries, have been washed away due to heavy downpour. Commuters want quick intervention by both countries in the interest of sustainable business activities. The federal government says apart from intensifying measures towards the release of all the train passengers abducted 6 months ago, the commencement of commercial services on the Abuja-Kaduna rail line depends largely on putting in place a robust security mechanism that will forestall a repeat of the ugly scenario. The Minister of Transportation, Muazu Jaji Sambo, stated this in Lagos, while also giving an update on the commencement of freight services on the standard gauge of the Lagos-Ibadan rail line. Michael Olale reports.
Many wins in the rail subsector are almost undermined by security challenges, but the zeal to overcome this problem is ever strong. Apart from exploring options to return to the beautiful old days of the rail transportation, resolving all hindrance to commence freight services on the standard gauge of the Lagos-Ibadan rail line is important to the minister. He gave assurance that delaying takeoff will be addressed as the project is key to the overall infrastructure development agenda of the federal government as contained in its 2021 to 2025 master plan.
This administration has underscored the importance of infrastructure by creating what is called the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, if you know, to drive certain priority legacy projects. There is no administration in this country that has invested in infrastructure like the Buhari administration.
On changing the tide of the trying times which has stalled services on the Abuja-Kaduna rail line, the minister said government is responding positively with security force in pulling forward.
We are also looking at the best world standard security system to put in place to ensure that forever such a thing will never happen again.
Expanding the rail network, completing ongoing projects and enhancing the welfare of rail workers, the minister assures are progressing. In Lagos.
Okay, let's go back to Lagos. This time we're joining Michael again. He's going to bring us the next set of reports. Michael?
Thank you, Ruth. 1 month on the official timeline for the delivery of the Lekki deep sea port in Lagos, completion rate is presently at 95.7%, raising the hope of all signatories that the September deadline remains sacrosanct. Minister of Transportation Muazu Jaji Sambo, while on a visit, described the project as the pride of Nigeria, not only because it is the first deep sea port in West Africa, but will change the spectrum of cargo delivery and evacuation in the country.
A view from the sky giving impressive landscape of the massive infrastructure transformation that 50 hectares of landmass has witnessed within 3 years. And at a closer look, it is a geometric progression with figures to vividly describe. For instance, from the landslide to the key wall and breakwater, completion rate is more than 90%. Minister of Transportation is already envisaging the promptness the port will inject into terminal and vessel dwell time, with the belief that Nigerians will definitely benefit from the close to 170,000 jobs projected to be created from the initiative.
Everything you want in a port is here. Almost automated, fully automated. Not fully, but automated enough to make life easy for port operations. I am delighted, and it is initiatives like this that we want to encourage, and that's why I did not hesitate at all when I came to the ministry and I met the proposal for the Badagry DC port sitting on my table and took it immediately to council.
The Nigerian Ports Authority has found a new template for port construction, and the agency is taking a cue from the Lekki deep sea port, advising intending investors to give their best.
This is the template for execution and speed of delivery of any deep sea port. So I was talking to the proponents. I was also talking to the proponents in terms of the equipment, in terms of the ability to provide equipment that will improve efficiency, you understand, reduce cargo dwell time and ship waiting time also. We will not, of course, go lower than this.
Although expansion and upgrading of access roads are ongoing, with another being constructed to link the Lagos-Benin Expressway. The port's entry and exit mechanism will also leverage on the rail line, with the proposed Lagos-Calabar Railway offering connectivity window for the Lekki deep sea ports.
The third Mainland Bridge has been reopened after a rehabilitation of some failed portion of the road. Kenya DBC visited the ever-busy bridge. Let's hear from her.
Thank you, studio. The ever-busy third Mainland Bridge is back to its usual self after a partial closure of some section of the road yesterday for repair works by the Lagos State Department of Public Works. This rehabilitation work is meant to cover and fill some asphalted sections of the road that peeled off. Lagosians are particularly happy about this development as they believe that the constant gridlock experienced on this road is as a result of some of the bad portions. Traffic on this road has really been heavy as a result of the closure of the Akongwa Bridge due to the fire outbreak that happened earlier this year. With this work being done, with the rehabilitation work done on this road from the beginning of the road at Iyanaworo down to Adekule section of the road, the bad portions being filled with ease, free flow of traffic. As you can see, cars are moving freely. They do not have to slow down. as a result of bad portions of the road. Earlier on, I met with an infrastructural engineer who gave an insight into the benefit of constant rehabilitation of such projects.
Roads and bridges are supposed to be maintained regularly. You have what we call routine maintenance. You have what we call current maintenance. So normally, all these maintenance works should be carried out. So it's good that the government is carrying out the maintenance on the bridge.
One good thing about this project is that it was done within the stipulated time. And for many Lagosians who ply this route, it is a sigh of relief. In Lagos, Kendi Adebisi, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages, and when we return, Nationwide continues from our Sokoto Network Center, where Sadiat is standing by.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal says the state government will soon recruit more than 1,000 health personnel to fill the human resource gap under the state health system. Lalat Abdullahi reports that Tambuwal made the disclosure when he received on courtesy call a country representative, UNICEF Nigeria, Mr. Peter Hawkins at Government House, Sokoto. The report.
The UNICEF country representative Nigeria, Mr. Peter Hawkins, told the governor that the fund's collaboration with the Sokoto state government had no doubt yielded positive results in the areas of improved healthcare and enhanced enrollment drive campaign, particularly on the integrated almajiris and girls at rural levels. Mr. Hawkins, however, stated that more commitment is required to take out-of-school children off the streets, as well as invest more resources on nutrition, sanitation, and immunization, among other critical healthcare needs.
Ensure that all children receive the right level of spiritual learning, as well as the right level of numeracy and literacy.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal told the visiting country representative of UNICEF that the impact of the partnership with UNICEF are quite felt across the state on areas of basic education, encouraging literacy for Almajiri schools in the state, and addressing critical healthcare challenges at the grassroots. He added that despite the current high inflation leading to serious economic setback, government will continue to pay more attention to basic education and healthcare needs, particularly on the rural population in the state.
We are in the process of recruiting over 1,000 more of those staffs, the CHUs and the rest of them, that will now fill in the gap that we have in human resource.
The major concerns of the partnership is on ensuring wider health coverage and education for all initiative through addressing the menace of out-of-school children across the state. In Sokoto, Kalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Zamfara state government has donated more than 2,300 bags of assorted grains and 15 million naira cash to internally displaced persons in Anka, Bukuyum and Gumi local government areas of the state. The state deputy governor, Senator Hassan Muhammad Nasiha, delivered the assistance while on a sympathy visit to the area. Jamil Ibrahim Hassan.
Suspected terrorists have recently sacked a number of communities in Anka, Bukuyum and Gumi local government areas of Zamfara state, resulting in massive displacement of persons, especially women and children. Zamfara state deputy governor, who led a powerful government delegation on a sympathy visit to the affected areas, regretted that the unfortunate incident is coming at a time when relative peace has been restored to other parts of the state through dialogue, with farmers fully engaging in this year's rainy season farming.
By the way, Amana, it has done well in Nansada and Dankulmi. It will do the same here in Gumi. Inshallah, I'm sure the dialogue will work. and we have been following it up, and we are going to monitor it.
Senator Nasia was at the palaces of the emirs of Anka, Bukum and Gumi, where he condoled with the monarchs and people of the areas over the tragedy and reassured them of the government's renewed commitment to achieving lasting peace in all parts of the state. He also announced the Zamfara state government's donation of 3 trucks of assorted food items and 5 million naira cash to the IDPs in each of the 3 emirates. The royal fathers applauded the state government for the timely assistance and appealed for similar intervention from the federal government with a view to addressing the humanitarian crisis resulting from the incident. The IDPs, who are mostly taking refuge at some primary and post-primary schools in the headquarters of the 3 local government areas, stressed the need for urgent and adequate security measures to enable them go back to their respective communities soonest. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
And that's it from this end. It's now back to Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Sadia. Torrential rains that lasted for 2 days have left havoc in some communities in Kano State, leaving many people dead and some displaced. Awal Salisu reports from Toranke village in Ajingi local government area, one of the communities hit by the disaster.
It is Aliu, a 4-year-old survivor of a collapsed building in Ajingi town. His father, Malam Aminu, said on his return from farm, he met a crowd struggling to rescue the boy who was trapped inside one of the collapsed rooms in his house.
I never expected the boy to survive the incident.
Many residents of Ajingi, Torenki and other neighboring communities have been affected by the prolonged rainstorms that destroyed more than 200 houses and property worth millions of naira.
The incident thrown a lot of people into difficulties. I have no means of rebuilding the house.
The downpour that lasted more than 2 days resulted in the death of a 4-year-old girl in this community and 3 other siblings in similar incidents in Tarai town of Kivya local government, while more than 500 people have been displaced. Executive Secretary State Emergency Management Agency Salah Ali Ujili said the state government has distributed relief items to the victims of the unfortunate disaster. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the request of Ebonyi state government to help mitigate the ecological challenge that resulted to a landslide at Eda Afikpo South local government area with over 65 households displaced. The state governor, David Umahi, made this known while addressing the people of the area, stressing that the affected people would be relocated with immediate effect. Chika Okorie will tell us more.
This is the second time in less than 2 weeks Governor David Umahi is visiting Ugwama Eda, the site of the landslide that, apart from displacing some people, also blocked an interstate road. With the assurances of resettling the affected persons immediately, Governor David Umahi appreciated the federal government for quick response to mitigate the ecological menace.
Let me thank our dear president very, very, very highly, because when I drew this, I didn't even meet him. It was ordinary letter I wrote. I was in Abuja waiting, and he saw it. We requested for immediate, attention here. He has approved it, immediately.
Some of the residents who lamented their ordeals appreciated government for being responsive in tackling the disaster.
He said he's going to relocate us to another place for now, so as to enable job keep on going.
Yes.
So we appreciate that.
That is true.
The prompt intervention, the people believe, will help save the multi-million naira Uguyere Bridge constructed by the state government. In Abakaliki, Chika Okore, NTA News.
The Ghana High Commission in Abuja says the online publication alleging that the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, has written to the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, to give Peter Obi a chance in the 2023 general elections based on his health condition is false. In a statement, the Commission urges the public to disregard the misleading and baseless publication on the premise that Ghana and Nigeria boasts of decades of cordial relations underpinned by the belief in the tenets of democratic governance, rule of law, and adherence to the principle of non-interference in the internal political mechanisms of other countries. The President of the Republic of Ghana will not interfere in Nigeria's internal affairs and politics. To further dispel the misconceptions created by the online publication, the statement also made reference to a series of tweets of Tuesday, 9th August 2022, from President Akufo-Addo's Twitter handle. Chairman, People's Democratic Party State Chairman Forum, Felix Hayat, has expressed confidence that all perceived differences among members of the party arising from the presidential primary election is normal but will soon be resolved. He was speaking at a national summit organized by GLAD Initiative in conjunction with PDP Vote Right ambassadors in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Felix Hassan Hayat, popularly referred to as chairman of states PDP across the country, is also the state chairman of the party in Kaduna State. He believes that failure to do the right thing is a bane to the nation's political development, but optimistic that the rebranded PDP is set to now do things right for the right results going forward.
Anytime you go through a primaries, you expect some people who thought they would have been the ones to win, didn't win, so they feel a bit aggrieved. By the time campaign structures are put in ground, people, every shade of opinion is captured, this thing will fizzle out.
Back in the summit hall, former governor of Niger State and member of the PDP Board of Trustees, Muazu Babangida Aliyu, joined by the party's presidential candidate spokesman, Senator Dino Melaye, agree with Hayat, emphasizing that not doing things rightly enough were responsible for the party's loss of presidential election in 2019.
This time around, at the PDP level, we said we must change the norm. What can we do different? We can do differently because we know where elections are won and lost.
We cannot afford to get it wrong come 2023.
We want to lay a foundation of those who will champion right attitude.
The summit with the theme, Doing It Right for the Right Results, is expected to also hold across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
From Kenya, reports just reaching us says the Kenya's Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission declares William Ruto winner of Kenya's presidential election. Ruto garnered 7,176,141 votes, representing 50.49% of the total votes cast. The National Frequency Management Council, chaired by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Ali Pantami, has directed ministries, departments and agencies, diplomatic missions, non-governmental and private organizations that installed any radio frequency-based equipment for non-commercial purposes without clearance from the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy to hand them over for proper certification. A statement from the Minister's office says those who refuse to do so constitute security risk to the nation and may attract severe sanctions and possible prosecution. The Council, at its 58th regular meeting, reminds all that it is the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy that is in charge of radio frequency spectrum administration for non-commercial purposes in Nigeria. We're heading to Port Harcourt to join Gabrielle. She'll pick up with the next set of reports. Gabrielle?
Of officers to meet the present challenges of insecurity in the country. General Officer Commanding 6th Division, Major General Olufemi Oluyede, disclosed this during 6th Division Inter-Formation Combat Proficiency Competition in Port Harcourt, River State. Robinson Duratede has the details of this report.
It was an intensive training and competition for officers from those below the rank of major, serving under different brigades in the 6th Division Nigerian Army. The event competed for the last 5 days, ranges from skill at arm, combat tricks, map reading, combat swimming, and obstacle crossing. General Officer Commanding 6th Division, Major General Olufemi Oluyede noted that regular training has become imperative in the military given the current security situation in the country. He urged officers to remain alert and combat fit.
This competition is one amongst the series organized by the division to improve your physical fitness, endurance, and training. I urge you all to internalize all the lessons learned during the series of events that made up the competition.
6th Division Garrison Port Harcourt emerged overall champion with 560 points, securing medals in map reading and shooting. 62 Brigade Warri came second with 530 points, winning other medals in skill at arm and combat race. 16 Brigade Yenegua and 2 Brigade Oyo came third and fourth respectively. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Deratede, NTA News.
The 2021-2022 primary and secondary schools academic year has ended, and education stakeholders in Akwa Ibom State view the school year as eventful and rewarding. They say despite the daunting challenges faced in the season, teachers and school children maximize every opportunity to cover up lost ground occasion by the COVID-19 and post-COVID era. Ifeoma Kuje reports.
The 2021-2022 academic year, which commenced sometimes in September last year, according to some school administrators and others, witnessed some level of normalcy returning to the school system since the coronavirus pandemic.
We had the COVID experience and it was not really easy. It affected the education sector very seriously.
Before the COVID, we had about 10 or 11 subjects, but after the COVID, we had 15 subjects. And we tried as much as possible to make sure that all the subjects are taught.
Within the term, supervisors from ministries of education have been coming, supervising both the pupils and the teachers.
Bringing the children up to speed, the Akwa Ibom State teachers say they made extra sacrifices and the children met the demands of the existing and the new content introduced to the curriculum. Some school administrators give their assessment of the school year under review.
It has not been easy, but we have that good rapport with our parents. We have to be here with them in some cases.
For these senior secondary school students, the academic session has been a mixed bag of challenges and excitement.
Like I say, we are recovering normally.
We have been able to, kind of catch up with everything that we have tried, that we have missed out.
It is expected that those going on vacation already will maximize the holiday for positive ventures while anticipating a robust academic session ahead. In Uyo, Ifeoma Ihoji, NTA News.
And as our package from Port Harcourt Network Center nationwide continues with Zenret in Jos.
Thanks for staying with us on Nationwide. Plateau State government, in collaboration with stakeholders, is training religious leaders and faith-based organizations on how to combat public health ailments. Ijoma Azemina reports.
In view of the role of religious leaders in the society as opinion molders, the Plateau State government deemed it necessary to engage in a training to assist in the control of diseases relating to public health, with emphasis on malaria, tuberculosis and COVID-19. The training is a platform for participants to have good understanding of the diseases and the prevention strategies.
We can actually work out solutions that are even more reliable, because when it is faith-based and it is medicine, people believe it more.
I learned that you do not self-medicate. Any mild symptom you feel in your body, you go to the doctor, conduct a diagnostic test or a rapid test before prescribing drugs for you, then you take it.
There are things that the people need to know, there are things that the people need to do, so as to ensure that they are living lives that are not under the threat or challenges of these diseases.
The state government says it is always willing to partner non-governmental organizations and individuals to provide adequate healthcare services to the people.
This meeting becomes very essential. We want to ask them to buy in and collaborate with us in handling the citizens of Plateau State that needs medical services.
The participants are expected to take the messages to their adherents and members of the public in Jos, Ijoma or Zemina. NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has organized a training on disease risk communication for key stakeholders in Jos. Cameron Kanengladoja reports that the aim is to expand capacity of national veterinary services to conduct assessment and communicate early emergency.
The training drew state directors of veterinary services, federal and state epidemiology officers, military and paramilitary veterinarians, as well as technical officers from the Ministries of Health and Environment, who are responsible for the control of transboundary animal disease, major zoonotic disease, veterinary certification, and environmental health.
In a risk assessment, we, most especially the law enforcement officers, any other policy that has been made needs to be enforced.
You are not only protecting your own state, but you are protecting your neighboring state and the nations at large. And I think risk assessment is the key.
Risk assessment is an integral aspect of dealing with the spread and control of disease and disease surveillance, as explained by the Chief Veterinarian of Nigeria and Director of Veterinary and Pest Control Services.
They are here as risk managers, so we want them to go back and identify risk assessors and train them so that we'll be able to get it right.
Environment provides breeding ground for disease if not properly taken care of, and thus affects inhabitants. Technical officers of the Ministry of Health and Environment explain the nexus between environment, health, and transboundary animal disease and zoonotic diseases.
These zoonotic diseases, a lot of them, they can be reduced if our environment are sanitized and if our environment are clean.
In Jos, Ekaman Kanengladoja, NTA News.
That's our contribution to Nationwide. There's still more reports with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Zemred. That's right. The Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority, Professor Mohammed Sambo, has said that the National Health Insurance Authority Act does not have provision for imposing any kind of health tax on workers. Sambo made this clarification on the sidelines of the 16th Scientific Conference of the National Postgraduate Medical College, adding that all stakeholders were being engaged with the aim of throwing more light on the various provisions of the law. Professor Sambo stated that the management of the authority has held a news conference with the media, being a critical stakeholder in information and education. The NHIA Act, which, amongst other things, makes health insurance mandatory for all Nigerians and legal residents, was signed into law on May 19, 2022 by President Muhammadu Buhari. A look at the economy. Nigeria's headline inflation for July 2022 increased to 19.64% on a year-on basis, indicating 2.27% rise year-on-year compared to the rate recorded in July 2021, which was 17.38%. Now, the figure released by the National Bureau of Statistics shows that on a month-on-month basis, the headline inflation rate was higher than the rate recorded in June 2022 by 1.816%. The NBS report shows that the increase in inflation was caused by an increase in food index attributed to the disruption in the supply of food products, an increase in the cost of transportation arising from the higher cost of energy, an increase in import cost due to currency depreciation, as well as a general increase in the cost of production. The rise in the food index was caused by increase in prices of bread and cereals, potatoes, yam and other tubers, meat, fish, oil and fat. Looking at the urban and rural distribution of the Consumer Price Index, the index for urban inflation rate on a year-on-year was 20.09% in July 2022. This was higher compared to 18.01% reported in July 2021. On a month-on-month basis, the urban inflation rate was 1.8209% in July 2022, a decrease compared to June 2022 with 1.8211%. Telecom's subscribers across the country will have to bear the brunt of 5% excise tax on Telecom's services being proposed by the federal government. Chairman, Association of Licensed Telecommunication Operators of Nigeria, Benga Adebayo, stated this on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria amidst complaints by subscribers that telecommunications is a social service and further increase in tariff will be an additional financial burden on Nigerians. Lydia Sampson will tell us all about it.
That what you are buying, getting 100 naira value for today, you will get 95 naira in value. What you are getting 1,000 naira value for today, you get 150 naira in value. What you are getting 9,000, 10,000 naira for today, you get 9,500.
That is the new tax regime on telecom services, which will take effect as soon as the federal government gives the go-ahead to telecom operators. But Nigerians are already kicking over the imminent tariff hike, saying it will take a huge financial toll on businesses and erode the gains recorded so far in the telecom sector.
There are other ways by which government can get revenue. Property tax is there. So many people have property all over this country that are not paying taxes on them.
The government is talking about improving small scale and medium scale businesses. Most of them rely on data, rely on service provider to kickstart their businesses.
Interestingly, the telecom operators too are appealing to the federal government to take it easy with Nigerians on taxes. There were further appeals for the federal government to reduce income tax leakages as well as multiple taxes which overburden the masses. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The federal government has commenced training of personnel of ministries, departments and agencies for the timely preparation, submission and approval of the 2023 national budget. Basade Abel reports that the two-day training, which has taken place in Abuja, is based on the government integrated financial management information system as part of its public financial management reforms.
A total of 4,000 workers drawn from 900 ministries, departments and agencies are undergoing training with series of activities relating to the process of preparing for the 2023 budget. The training was declared open by the Director Expenditure Socials Fabian Ubu, who represented the Director General of the Budget Office. He explains that one of the modules at the training will address key items and sections to note in the 2023 Federal Government of Nigerian budget called circular to ensure that all issues and questions that participants may encounter are adequately addressed during the course of the training sessions.
We have engaged teams of experts and handled different aspects of the training, including some fundamental budget concepts. They will bring their wealth of experience in public finance management, budgeting, chiefness, and digital technologies to bear on this program.
Participants believe that the outcome of the training will enable them leverage on feedback and lessons learned from previous budget preparation exercises in order to improve on this year's exercise.
My expectation from the training, I'm meeting up with the government policies one-on-one, that whatever revenue that is being implemented and be generated should meet up with the expenditures of the offices and the parastatals, because it's very important.
Encourage us to look at the pros and the cons, what we witness from the 2022 budget. It will make us make a correction, and so that we see what is in the government cover and see how it can be utilized.
The goal of the training is to demonstrate government commitment in ensuring accountability and transparency and provide continuous learning to equip budget personnel with the requisite knowledge, skills and tools they require to prepare and submit the 2023 budget on time. In Abuja, Basade Abel, NTA News.
The Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, HYPODEC, is leveraging on advanced knowledge of procurement processes for implementation of its blueprint. To achieve this, an intensive training on its staff on provisions of Public Procurement Act 2007 is ongoing in Abuja. Obakara Kwanga reports.
Procurement in a formal establishment remains an integral process that facilitates project execution and deliveries in line with laid down rules and regulations.
Once they go through this training,
it will enable them to perform their duties in a much better manner.
And as a young organization which is still finding its ropes, IPADEC is engaging its staff on the provisions of the Public Procurement Act 2007 for transparent exercise.
Most of the people you see EFCC chasing around may not necessarily be because they have stolen funds, but largely as a result of the lack of them not following the due process, that is, not following the PPA 2007.
Our staff will be enlightened. Our staff will be open to procurement acts in the civil service, so that as we are starting, we should start in a right platform, not in a wrong platform.
IPADEC has over the time rolled out critical projects aimed at improving lives and uplifting status of covering communities across the 6 states under its mandates. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Right, let's bring you sports update.
The opposition Nigeria has been able to overcome. I think the Falconets are really formidable. I think the girls are good to go. Whichever opposition they come against, I think they will stand a good chance of making it through to the semi-final stage of the competition.
Meanwhile, over 100 young basketball players and coaches are taking part in a 5-day basketball clinic at the indoor sport hall of the Package B section of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. US-based former basketball player and coach who is the resource person, Kano Baker, says the target is to build young talent as well as coaches on the basis of basketball, as Nigeria has a talent that can rival United States in basketball.
Well, basically, sports renaissance, African partners, we want to teach these kids, coaches, how to win in life and win in basketball. That's it. That's what the great ones do.
And finally, registration for the 4th edition of National Anti-Corruption Marathon has commenced in Abuja to allow individuals, officials, and volunteers to register through the portal.
The strength and the future of this country, this anti-corruption marathon race will avail them the opportunity to redirect their energies to doing something worthwhile and shun corrupt activities.
We are very, very sensitive in terms of gender. Whatever thing the man wins, the prize money, the same thing with the female runners.
This year's edition, which will coincide with Nigeria Independence Celebration, come 1st October, is a 21.25-kilometer race starting from the Eagle Square through some major streets of Abuja and terminate at the Eagle Square. With sport updates, Clement Oloruntoba, NTA News.
We're done with Nationwide. We do appreciate your company. Remember, with your support, the fight against rape and the rapist can be won. I'm Ruth Aguilera. Bye.